Okay, I'm going to start in the stream now. The War of the Sexes. We heard this sentence used many times during history, but lately it seems that this war has been waged not so much by the sexes, but on the sexes. Because it's not people, but figureheads who seems to just can't help themselves and steer the fire of a situation that was slowly coming to a halt. Because where movements in the past focused on the equality of opportunity for everyone, it seems that there is this new current that just want to focus on the equality of results. And there are fringes that go as far as saying that even disagreeing with a woman can be harassment. Those are actual quotes of people I met in the past few months. So we had to ask ourselves, what's with this high demand of outrage and rage from the common populace? Why stir up the fires of war yet again? My name is Menos Kain, and this is the Italian Pod. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of the Italian Pod. Today, 8th of November 2015, and just like last time, we have our panel here. Let me start with the man from Canada, EJ Sporrell, owner of Black Titan TV. How are you doing, EJ?
I am just barely awake, so yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, had a rough night?
No, I just stayed up late watching TV shows.
What TV show?
I actually don't want to say. I'm kind of embarrassed.
It's okay. A lot of people watch My Little Pony lately, so no worries.
It was iZombie.
Okay. Okay. No one's judging you, man. It's okay. Okay, then we have the man from Mexico, Tijuana, Eagle Ceres. How are you doing, Eagle?
Good afternoon. Hola, everybody. Doing good. Getting off a little bit of a hangover. Had a fun night with some friends last night. And getting enough liquids to be able to power through the flight for tomorrow.
Yeah, because we don't know. You don't know yet about the Italian Pod. Minus EJ is going to Italy on Monday. Tuesday. Well, depends on your time zone. Anyway, and then we have the third member. Hoping he's back from picking up that beer. Will from Britain. How are you doing, Will?
Hello. I'm reasonably well. I'm not filled with a murderous rage, and not much else to say. I mean, not in crippling agony.
Yeah.
All I can say is I just hope you're not expecting me to be very entertaining today. Otherwise
yeah,
you're
it's
disappointed.
Okay. It's okay, don't worry. I'm gonna get to in a murderous rage yet, because I told you about the subject we're going to talk about today, didn't I?
Yes, I saw that, and
Okay, want to expose it to the audience, Will?
Okay, hang on, let me have a quick check, see what we did actually say it was going to be. Paddy. Yeah, I'm very well prepared today, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Okay, I'm gonna take it here. Okay, audience, today we're going to speak about sexes, as in genders, as in, males and females. There are people who would add more to that, but usually when you say the war of the sexes, the battle of the sexes, you usually refer to men and women. But today the episode is titled The Battle on the Sexes, the war on the sexes, because it seems that lately there are a lot of people that kinda like to stoke the fires of war, so to speak, like they're trying to make this bigger than it actually is, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that compared to, and my dog is outside barking, sorry about that, compared to, 150 years ago, I think we done a lot for equal rights, or is it just me, at least in the West?
We've come a long way in the last 150 years. the common man now has political agency. Women have a great deal of more of say in reproductive rights. What else is there to say? We have the Equal Pay Act, at least in the UK, and I'm sure there's one in Canada and in the USA, where it's illegal to pay someone who, with the exact same qualifications and experience, a different amount. You have to pay them at least the same. You can't, you can pay someone $10 an hour more because they've got another 10 years experience doing the job, but you can't pay them $10 an hour less because they happen to be a woman, which is fair enough. Things are rattling along nicely. Unfortunately, some people decided that they don't want justice; they want revenge. So,
I would somewhat agree there. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I was about to ask you that because you were in Canada and you're also pretty close to the US. You probably know a lot more about it than we do. So, how's the situation regarding this the thing we just talked about?
In my experience, the gender gap or the sex gap or whatever you want to call it is fairly closed. There are always going to be like little cultural differences between male and female culture here, like especially here in Canada. But for the most part, like we get paid the same, and it's illegal not to. Right?
Yeah.
If a woman gets a job here and gets paid less than a man because she's a woman, that's against the law. But there are certain careers where women actually make more, and that's not against the law.
Yeah, I mean, like models. So female supermodels get paid a lot more. Yeah, right?
Yeah. That is a good example there. Mind you, it's a little bit different with like models and porn stars and stuff because they're all under contract, and contracts work a lot differently, right? Mm-hmm. So you can pay someone a lot more. It's all based on negotiation. So that's probably where it kind of gets away with it.
So, but when it comes to something that doesn't need to be negotiated, when it comes to pay, you'd say that men and women, it's illegal to pay them differently, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It has been for at least 45 years now.
Eagle, what about in South America? Is it any different?
For example, from Mexico, there is some disparity. A lot of it, it depends on, it depends on the type of job. If it's, I want to say, if it's a marketing job, if it's an administration job, if it's a job in the field, if you're a cook, it depends. It's not as marked in Mexico as it is in the United States, but from what I've been both informed, read up, and I still may be wrong. It should be around, I want to say around a 22 to 26% difference. Mm-hmm. I might be off quite a bit there. But if anything, it's a different distribution depending on the type of jobs, if anything, and it depends on the vulnerability of the type of jobs which have more risk. It's a risk for pay situation in some of the cases. Like you would notice, for example, in Mexico, and I've still noticed a little bit more in the United States, you tend to see men taking more high-risk jobs, and therefore they get more paid because of that risk, for example.
Well, it is a higher-risk job, so it makes sense.
You would tend to see like more male police officers and female. It's starting to balance out, but you still tend to see more male than female. Construction jobs are primarily male-dominated because of the risk factor.
That kind of same also here in Italy, and I think in the US and in Britain. But I think that's okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's. Would you say that it's because of discrimination when it comes to hiring people, or because of choice? Because
I want to. There may be a little give and take there. I don't tend to. In between my contacts, I've never really heard about any of my female contacts saying, "Hey, I want to work in construction." They don't really search for those kinds of jobs. While, for example, security, police, well, you tend to see that more often because, again, the benefits you get from working in the security field.
I
Yeah.
see.
Well, yeah, women tend not to think, you know what, I want to work in this dangerous environment where I could lose an arm. That's going to do me some real good. But, you know, nobody wants to lose an arm on the job. I mean, yeah, you might get your workman's comp or, you know, your no win, no fee if it's not your fault. But you're going to be missing an arm. Nobody wants that. I mean,
Yes, but yeah, but
I fell over a few years back and I knackered me wrist in, and it was on my
Ouch.
offhand, which basically meant everything you think, you tend not to think, oh yeah, I'll just do this with the left hand because it's the closest one. You start twisting it out, that really hurts. It hurts to dress myself, you know. So you imagine how inconvenient it is if you're missing an arm or a few fingers or a thumb. Opposable thumbs are great. Do what you can to keep hold of you, folks. That's my top
How
tip
else am I going to
for
play
today.
video games?
yeah, oh my god. So seriously, like, take a leg, but don't take my hands. I do everything with my hands. I write with my hands. I play video games with my hands. Please, God, take legs, but not my hands. And I probably made an enemy of a lot of amputees right now, but that's personal preference. Sorry. But returning to the subject at hand, there is some disparity in Italy as well. I mean, there is like a case that exploded a few days ago. Like there was a woman that was asked if she was married, or she had any kids, or she was pregnant before getting a contract, and she was picked up for that contract. She says because I mean, those are questions that are asked, and I don't know, as a private. I mean, do you think those kind of sex questions, when it comes to like deciding on who to hire, are sexist? Could they be considered sexist?
Not from a business perspective. From a business perspective, this is things employers need to know. They need to know if the person that they're going to hire is going to be taking a year off for maternity leave within, the next nine months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is definitely something, like, as an employer, I would be concerned about, because, like, especially as a small business, because you can't always afford to keep those people on the payroll.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's a significant thing, because it feels a bit impersonal, but they say the person doesn't really benefit the company until they've been there for 18 months, because that's when they've learned the ropes, effectively.
Yeah.
So you've got someone...
Yeah.
So you got somebody who's been trained up for months because it's a technical job, or it's difficult, or you have specific procedures. You really don't want to have them say, "Well, I'm up the duff now, mate. I'm off. I'll see you in in 6 months or whatever." That doesn't really benefit anybody. It's a bit inconvenient for the rest of the workforce.
Now, I think the best way to approach that, I understand that women don't think that's very fair. That's not equal, right? And I think the best way to approach that is start asking men if they plan to take paternity leave.
That would equal the playing field, I guess.
That would equal the playing field. Because honestly, it's just a question, and it might be a little bit personal, but at the same time, your job that's an important thing.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I don't know about. I mean, personally, I work in an airport. I work with the lost luggage, so I don't see a lot of happy people. But the thing is, we're a few people doing a lot of those stuff. But the thing is, I take my job seriously because of the responsibility, mostly because I do services for other people. Like, I take care of the stuff they lost. Most people, they have their vacation ruined because of lost luggage. So I know that my colleagues and the people we do this service for depend on me. So I think that knowing if and when some people are going to be missing from work is something an employer should know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Eagle, yeah?
I was saying that's a good idea to. For example, it's good information-wise. We want to make sure there's enough support, team availability to cover whatever type of project or whatever type of job you're doing. Due to different jobs I've held as a full-time employee, as a contractor, and you would kind of see, for example, as a contractor, you only get paid for the time you actually clock in. While as a full-time employee, it's like, okay, you got a salary, you do your 40 hours a week or what say. And then when you need to take your time off, well, it goes either against your either vacation time or your sick time. And I know that in the United States they put in a family leave time, just like some guaranteed time if you're planning to, or if you're already having expected family. So there's cases like that. It depends on the situation, the type of job, and the benefits that the company you're working for offers.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Past that, so I guess we can pretty much agree that at least in the Western countries, in the more civilized and advanced countries, the situation is almost close because we made a lot of advance because of civil rights movements and politics. Once in a while they do something good. But the thing is, why then do you think that these outrage hunters, like these people that just can't help but stir the pot and make people shout and fight each other over something like disagreeing with women, popped up in Western countries?
Because they've won all their battles and they have nothing else to fight, so they're making up new enemies where there are none.
So say because
for the most part. Sorry?
No, yes. So you say that it's going. Will, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's the wonderful Teal Deb mentioned this. It's something of mission creep. Now, previously, it was started off as women should have the right to vote. Okay, women should have the same rights as men. Okay. And then it's suddenly sort of, well, these women are a bit more oppressed than some other women, so it becomes intersectional mission creep. And we've seen this with Gamergate. Originally it was ethics and journalism. And now it seems to have crept into highlighting issues of censorship. And things like that, which still journalists do have a duty of care to behave in a professional fashion. But do we also have to worry about the censorship of the comment section? And you often see the Socrates tag with Kotaku in action.
I see. During like the last year and a few months, we've seen like the sexism and women's rights excuse. They've been using it as an excuse to deflect criticism and attack people. And I see that a lot in politics. Even now in the US. I mean, Hillary Clinton lately said something that Bernie Sanders was being sexist for some reason.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you explain that? Either Eagle or EJ, whoever followed this.
I really didn't follow much on that thread. I think it was not so much that I think Hillary implied some comments that Bernie Sanders said were leaning toward not necessarily misogyny or sexism, but a lot of people got that intonation to mean, hey, he's being sexist, or he's, and not necessarily, and in many cases, as I said, you may say some, or the way we've developed the language, we say certain things, and if there's a proper, what's the right word? If there's a proper explanation or a proper idea that's coming through, you're gonna read into words, or you're gonna mince words and
find meanings that are not there. Okay. Was it?
Let me actually go ahead and look that up for a moment.
Okay, was it like that, TJ, or was there more to this?
In terms of like the whole Hillary Clinton thing?
Yeah.
Okay. How now? Like, obviously, I'm Canadian. I do follow American politics, but only like as a layman would, right? I'm not an expert in these subjects. But from what I understand, Hillary is an idiot.
Okay,
I don't know
care to elaborate on that before we are assaulted by accusations of misogyny.
Okay, well, no. Basically, what it is she said things along the terms of like she's literally said that I think I should be president because I'm a woman, right? And that has nothing to do on your ability to be president. I'm sorry, being a man, being a woman, that has nothing to do on your ability to be president. It has to do with how truthful you are to the American people, right? And Hillary herself has been caught up in so many scandals involving terrorism, for Christ's sake. Like wow. It just blows my mind that people are actually like giving her the time of day. Absolutely blows my mind. Okay, she has lied to the American people. You know,
okay.
She or maybe not lied, but fudged the truth. You know, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a little bit of a reading at this while you were speaking, EJ.
Yeah.
What happened is one of the team members in the Bernie Sanders group. Mm-hmm. Basically, there was a comment asking him, "So, what do you think about if Bernie gets the nomination for a Democrat candidate for presidency?" So one of the team members says, "Yeah, well, we can. What do you think about bringing in Hillary as a vice president?" And one of the team members of Team Bernie went ahead and says, "Oh, we can look for a spot with her." And people started taking that as a misogynistic.
Sorry, we can look for a what?
We can find a spot for her in our team.
A spot.
So not necessarily saying, we'll go ahead and
position,
the vice presidential position. Not necessarily saying that, but basically saying, we'll find a job for her. Kind of like pretty much diminishing the comment, or not saying, hey, I can't comment, I can't affirm or deny. They just went ahead, we can find something for her, and people started taking that as his team's looking for whatever position for her, like a typical, we have a woman on the team type of comment.
So wait, you just said we can find a spot for her, and people started taking that as sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, some would argue that people think Bernie's sexist because he's a man, so you know.
Yeah, that's been kind of the climate lately. Like we're all here. We're all white heterosexual males, aren't we?
I'm a little brownish, but yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, so according to the current climate, with the third wave feminism and social justice warriors, we're the lowest of the lowest scum, basically. Yeah. So,
something like that.
Yeah.
Here's the official quote. I actually found it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So this is from Politico.com. I'll pass you the link in a moment.
Okay.
It's Quinn, who ran for New York City mayor in 2013, which is part of Bernie Sanders' team.
All right.
Recently said in a Bloomberg Politics story that quoted Sanders' campaign manager Jeff Weaver as joking that we're willing to consider her or consider Hillary Clinton for vice president. We'll even interview her. And people started saying, because saying, we're willing to consider her for vice president. We'll even interview her. And somebody took it in a negative context, saying, how absurd. Why is it? This is not progressive.
Just give it to her. Why? Because as a woman, she's supposed to be given if not the presidency, she's supposed to be given the vice presidency just like that. Again, I might add, because Hillary was vice president because she quit for health reasons. Am I right?
Yeah.
You were
I'm sick of.
Yeah, you were saying something before, EJ. Go ahead.
I'm sick of nepotism and cronyism in politics. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. You know, Bill Clinton was president. You know, now Hillary has to be president. You know, George Bush Sr. was president. Now George Bush, then Jr. became president, and then Jeb Bush wants to be president. He's related to them. You know, here in Canada, we got Justin Trudeau, who is the son of Pierre Trudeau, which was probably one of the most messed up freaking prime ministers in terms of my province, because he hated my province.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And it's just I think that, you know, if sorry, it shouldn't be kept in these same families and these same groups. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, what is going on here?
And speaking of Justin, I don't think it's a coincidence that he's also named Justin. I think there is something there.
Don't even bring that up. Don't even bring that up. We're not talking about that.
You're going to trigger us all.
Yeah, there's something there, I'm just saying.
Triggered.
Anyway, the question I was going
Canadian
to ask,
Justins.
the thing is, going from Hillary saying that she deserves to be president because she's a woman, what do you think of Trudeau's move and making a cabinet that is 50-50, woman and man, no merit, no questions asked? What's your thoughts about that?
My thoughts about that is that it's actually rather idiotic. I mean, stupid on a level of, like, it's never before been stupider. The reason being is because if you set this arbitrary, and it is arbitrary, 50-50 quota in your cabinet, okay, you're literally passing over, and it could be on either side of the coin. I'm not saying it's, you know, it's men who are more qualified or women who are more qualified, but you're literally passing over more qualified people in favor of less qualified people to fill these positions, right? Considering that one of the man's first choices as prime minister was to do a renovation of the prime minister's dwelling in Ottawa. For $10 million, that's coming out of the taxpayers' pockets.
Yeah, also I heard he made So you think it's it's actually for propaganda reasons they made that?
Absolutely, it is. Look at his answer when they asked him, like, "Hey, why did you do this?" Because it's 2015. That's not an answer. That is the most non-answer you can get. Sorry, I'm getting ragey right now.
Yeah, and you want to know.
This decision is only going to end in tears. It's like when I think of a sports team metaphor where someone insists on picking a player who's out of form or just coming back from injury. Or a historical example of this, the 1998 World Cup final, Brazil versus France.
Yeah,
Ronaldo was out of sorts and shouldn't have played, but he was forced to play. Now, there's always some conspiracy theories about that, but some reckon it was because of the sponsors. You know, Ronaldo being one of the best players in the world at the time, so it's the biggest game of the year. We need him to play, and he didn't, and then Brazil lost. So, if you see these things, if you insist on having people in there because of who they are, not what they can do, you are doomed to fail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you want to know the worst thing? First we were talking about my politics, and the thing about Justin Trudeau, it reminds me a lot of my own PM, Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, and he's the guy that is bringing Italy back to the 1930s. He's the one-party guy I was talking about earlier. He's also made a lot of... He does a lot of non-answers, a lot of propaganda, and he also does a lot of these women, because qualified women and stuff, pin quotes like equality and stuff like that, or for propaganda reasons. But, and you want to... I wanted to ask you another thing. You mentioned the non-answer he gave about the 2015 answer. I wanted to ask, why did no one in that debate ask him, told him, like confronted him and said, "Sir, that's not an answer, and as a prime minister of a country in the freaking G7, you're not allowed to say something like that in 2015." Why do you think no one confronted him?
Because it wouldn't be progressive.
Well, see, that's actually very, very similar to what I was going to say, actually. Now, if you look, here's the thing. I'm a leftist myself. I'm on the left wing, right?
Okay.
So, as somebody from the left, I've got to say that I am sickened. I'm absolutely sickened of the fact that 90% of our media is also left. Okay?
Yeah.
And you've got this like small little groups of right-wing media here and there. You've got things like Fox News. You've got things like taking the States as an example. Here in Canada, we have things like the Sun and Rebel Media starting to become popular now, right? But right-wing media sources is still very much a minority, and I think that in terms of our media, we need that balance. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there. And they're gonna, they're just gonna fillet every bloody leftist politician that shows up in office. That's all they do. It's just like, oh, he's progressive, yay, yay, yay. Don't question him.
Yeah,
no, that's how
kind of
Stalin happened.
Yeah, and you want something? That's exactly how Italian media also is. The public television, most media in Italy is also left. And the thing is, all know Berlusconi, right?
Oh,
yeah. The thing is, Berlusconi did a lot of crazy, very nasty, dirty, shitty shit during his tenures. Yeah?
Yeah, he had some jailbait or something. He was
but that's not really, because, clarification. What Berlusconi was going in is not for jailbait, because in Italy, the age of consent is 14 or 16 if you have any, clout or power or influence over the minor. But the thing is, what he was tried for was for jailbait prostitution, because while you can sleep with people after they make 14 or 16, you can't pay them for it. That's legal, and that's what he went to trial for. But anyway, the shady shit I was talking about is laws to shut up medias, and more dangerously judges, to put obstacles for law, for justice. That's a lot of things that he tried to do, and the press crucified him. Now Matteo Renzi is doing a lot of things that are the same exact things Berlusconi has been trying to do during his tenure as Prime Minister, and the press is not saying anything about it. Because it's left. It's not left.
It's okay when we do it.
Yeah, it's okay when we do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Yes, and the problem is there is not a lot of. We have public television, and that's also being kind of left, or depending on the government. But I think is a lot of the newspapers and other publications are left, and the thing is they take money from the state to be alive. Most newspapers in Italy nowadays would be closed by years if they have state funding, and that influences them a lot.
That's actually, we have something similar happening in Canada right now. We have a national radio program called the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company, right? And they are now they were completely government funded, right? But recently they've been getting funding pulled, and I've noticed recently that they've gotten a lot more left. For instance, actually just the other night, one of my coworkers, he got a hold of me and he's just like, "You need to turn on CBC right now." And I turned it on just in time to hear an interview from this woman on how we need to get more feminism in our high schools to turn kids into feminists earlier in life.
What the fuck is?
And I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's an ideology." I have no problem if people want to become feminists. That's fine. But you're literally indoctrinating kids with it now. It's like there's a separation between the church and the state. You can't teach outside in public schools. You can't teach religion and say you have to be this religion, right? But that you can do it with feminism, and that is an ideology. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. My daughter, she's not in the gender studies program at her school. It's an elective, thankfully. Right.
Thankfully.
But I hear so many stories of it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Like what kind of stories? You mean from your daughter?
For my daughter, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let us hear it.
Okay, all right. Well, one of her friends is a feminist. You don't mind if I talk about this, do you, kiddo?
No. Oh,
Okay,
she's there
no,
with you.
I'm talking to my daughter.
Oh.
Was that? It's not like she's going to know, she says. Okay. So one of my friend's daughters is a feminist, right? Or one of my friend's daughter. One of my daughter's friends is a feminist.
Okay.
Right? And she's this friend knows that my daughter is not a feminist, right? Mm-hmm. And they still get along. They're fine, right? But in the social justice class, there's two classes, actually. There's social justice class and there's gender studies.
You can be serious.
I am
social
serious.
Justice class.
Social justice class and gender studies class, right?
Oh.
And recently, they were hanging these signs in the hallway saying that I need feminism because signs, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, these signs got defaced.
How?
I know. I was laughing too. I was like, well, oh shit, now, one of the students in the social justice class is a black student.
Okay.
And he's very much a social justice warrior, but he stood up and he said, well, because they were discussing on, like how hateful the people who deface these posters are, right? And he stood up, he says something along the lines of, well, I don't, maybe they didn't know they were being hateful. It's, maybe they're just expressing an opinion. Everybody's entitled to opinion. Sorry. Everyone's entitled to opinion. And 6 students got up and left. It triggered the teacher.
It triggered the teacher.
Principal of the school. Okay, I'm hearing stories that the principal of the school was pacing back and forth in her office, not sure what to do about this. Right? It has reached this level. It's just like when she was telling me the story, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I've met your principal. Like
that sounds like an Adam Sandler movie. No, wait, Too Intelligent.
It sounds like an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my god!
Well, this is
triggered my principal.
Well, this is just an opinion, as my dad said. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Not all are worth looking into. So bloody hell. Also, everyone should be a feminist. Well, hang on. Don't feminists haven't they decided they don't want to date male feminists? Which also means that if we're not feminists, we're misogynists. So make up your bloody mind. We can't win.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's like touching on the whole Gamergate thing recently. They're like, half the feminists are like, "Yay, there's a woman in Call of Duty," right? And then another feminist were like, "Now they're exposing women to violence," and it's just like, are you
you just can't please these people, right?
You can't you cannot please them. There's nothing you can do.
Let me take a little bit on that same vibe.
Go ahead.
A couple of days ago, when Fallout 4 dropped, it released. Sorry. And everybody probably already saw the comments on Twitter and everything where some media said, "Oh, we finally have a female character in
you can finally play as
somebody
a female."
didn't do their research.
Yeah, because you could have always played as a woman before.
Yeah, you could play as a woman in the first Fallout. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Every Fallout game has a female character option. So I mean, that's just ridiculous,
Yeah. Also, did you read like Max Landis, like he live tweeted the Fallout 4 presentation party, and half the people there didn't know what Fallout 4 was.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
I thought it was about Fallout Boy, the music band.
Yeah, when's Fall Out Boy playing? What?
What movie is this for?
What's the mushroom about?
What's the mushroom
this
about?
Hair is quite disturbing. It's like,
Can you remove the robot?
It's just like, why would you have that party? Like, Bethesda, come on.
Because the gaming industry is now bigger than it's. I cannot just hear like the gears grinding in ZeniMax, because this was on Bethesda. Watch out, Bethesda is their developers. The publisher is ZeniMax, and they're the people that fuck things up. I can just hear the gears turning in their heads. Okay, the gaming industry is now bigger than Hollywood and the music industry. We have more money than them, but we don't have their jet set parties with a lot of people that just come out of the woodwork. We have to fix that.
I would like to think we have far less cokeheads.
Yes.
I think they're kind of
Yes.
yeah, I guess. I mean, you can't play video games convincingly on coke, I guess. People are gonna know this.
Although, if you ask Adam Sessler, he might disagree.
Yeah, those hair and teeth didn't go away on their own, I guess. Or Ben Kuchera, he looks like he knows a thing or two about that too.
Yeah, well, you know, San Francisco, right? Come on.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Well,
Yeah, oh my
I
god.
left my heart in San Francisco, and my wallet, and my dignity.
Yeah.
My sobriety.
Sobriety.
man.
We're talking about the life of Phil Fish right now. I think we were talking about the battle of sexes before.
Okay, yeah, sorry, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, but
back.
it's nice to get off topic every now and then, especially when talking about something this heavy, because it is heavy. Because we can't. This is like in the last year, I've been paying more attention to this, also because there have been some loud things happening with this. Like, you remember the Shirtgate, the thing with the
Oh yeah.
yeah, with
Matt
the doctor.
Taylor, yeah.
Matt Taylor, that was one of the most disgusting things I ever heard happening to a man of science. And now the
Feminism is more important than landing a probe on a comet.
yeah, of course, I'm sure. Look,
were I in his position, I would not have chosen to wear that shirt knowing it being interviewed on the camera. Yeah, I would have worn that shirt in the bar afterwards when we were celebrating.
yeah,
No problem.
And that's
But
and
on
that.
TV,
But you know what?
It did seem I would not have worn that shirt because it was somewhat unprofessional.
But that's a fair criticism. You see,
yeah, that's a fair criticism.
that
But
shirt is sexist and ostracizing, and you're keeping women out of science. See, Will, that was perfect because that was a fair criticism. I would not have worn that because it seems unprofessional.
But
Yes,
keep it
I
on
agree.
side. But I mean, but then you go. This is incredible. Also, the thing. I don't. This is the climate is feminists. People for equal rights in the past focus on equality of opportunity. Like they wanted the American dream for more than just men, and that was a good cause because everyone should have the same opportunities. But now they think they just want results. They don't want opportunities, they don't want effort to be put into anything, they just want equal set pieces of minorities and women having the same results as white men. They become the the oogie boogies of equal rights for some reason.
It's I think it's a little less that is sorry whoever was talking, continue. I brain farted.
Well,
That-
how
let
much
me
of
step in.
human? Okay, here you go. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
step in on this one.
ahead,
Taking
go.
advantage of the whole Shirtgate thing, just as a comment.
Yeah.
Wasn't it proven that that actually the shirt was a present from a designer, a female designer?
yeah,
Emily
candles.
Freisman.
It was
A
more
friend
of a cheesecake / gag gift, and he actually enjoyed it so much. That's why he wore it.
Yeah,
And there were also female team members on the team that he actually asked, and nobody was bothered with it because it was actually a pretty cool thing.
yeah.
When my daughter saw it, she was like, "That's such a cool shirt. I'd wear that shirt."
Oh no, your daughter's internalized misogyny. What do we do?
Oh my god, dear. Save her, bring her to San Fran. Oh my god.
Oh, no, but-
Okay, mate.
Oh,
Wait,
It's-
I just thought of something. Have you seen Inside Out?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yeah. What's the city that they just can't stand that they moved to?
San Francisco.
Oh, is it-
I think they're trying to say
Congratulations, San
something.
Francisco. You've
Pixar
ruined
is saying
pizza.
something to us there.
Yeah.
Well, with regards to equal opportunity, how many things in human history have been improved upon? How many achievements are done? How many of them have been done to impress women?
A lot.
You know,
A lot.
men put in fuckloads more effort in certain things than women do. And women, hey, Women put in a lot more effort for things that I wouldn't even think, well, that's just good enough. We are wired differently to put effort into different things. I mean, it all depends on what bothers you.
Yeah,
we work together. The genders complement each other.
That certainly explains why one has a port, one has a dongle.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it was designed that way.
Yeah, it's biological. Why? Women are designed to attract, and men are designed to impress. It's biological like that. I think. I mean that. That's also why physically. I mean, there's also things it meant. Okay, I'm gonna probably get a lot of shit for this. I mean, if people were listening in on this, I guess. Okay, the thing is, I don't think all people are born equal. That's not true. I don't. That's not true. What people should have is equal. The law. The law should be equal for everyone, and everyone should have the same right and dues. But to think that everyone is born the same as everyone else, it's just not true. I can't believe that. I'm sorry. Some people are born taller, some are born shorter, some are born more effective, like sprinting, something for lifting weights. Even mentally, some have a mathematical mind. My brother is a genius at math. I hate math. I just can't get my head wrapped around numbers. But I'm much better at him at English and literature and stuff like that. There's no and it's not just between men, it's between also the sexes. Men and women are biologically built differently. It's a fact.
It's
why
what
people
we mean by equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity, yes. Equal outcome is very different. Everyone should have the chance to do the things. So you can't just discriminate someone because he happens to be slightly disabled or woman or ethnic, whatever. Say I've got a job. Say I win the lottery and I start up my distillery plant. I have to give everyone who applies equal weight of a thing. I think, well, you're a bellend, you're an idiot, you're smart. I'll hire you, the smart one.
Yeah,
you know, that's how it works. I don't have to give all the applicants jobs. I just have to give them the opportunity to impress me, to convince me to give them the job. This is what the opportunity is. The opportunity. You have to take it. You have to apologies for the ableist phrase, have to do the legwork. You know what I mean? You have to put the effort in.
Absolutely.
It comes back to merit.
Merit.
You can be given the opportunity, but you have to still, even with that opportunity, you have to rise up and you have to prove that you're capable. Okay? And and yeah, sure, it's a little unfair sometimes, but guess what? That's life.
That's life. Yeah,
that's life.
You would deserve all the bad things that happen to you. Let's think about it. All the times you stepped in dog poop or you fell over on ice or whatever, and just completely random bad things that happen to you. How bad would you have to be to warrant those sorts of things? So, that is why it's a good thing that life is not fair. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah, okay. What? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Killed that dead, right? Marvelous.
Yeah, you did a good job. But the thing is, I mean, meritocracy it all comes back to meritocracy, which I personally think that meritocracy is a surefire way to kill a lot of problems. I mean, I think by merit you can crush like prejudice, and you can change like the conditions you live in through your skills. I mean, that's basically the American dream, right?
Yep.
That no matter what you're born as long as you work hard and you have the skill to do something better with yourself, you can succeed in life. That's pretty much the American dream, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, if you're willing to put the effort in, it doesn't matter what background you came from. You hear stories of people. Well, my dad was a lowly bellboy or whatever, bellhop, and then but he saved enough, and I managed to get into college, and now I'm a chief engineer for this on this oil rig. See, that's how it works. figured out why they don't like it, because meritocracy means you have to put the effort. And effort's ableist, And,
yeah, it's ableist.
It's triggering. That's why the social justice crowd hate it.
Yeah, that's a true quote. Like, effort is ableist. I read that somewhere. I don't remember where, but that's an actual quote.
See, I had just like to relate it to a personal story here. One of my coworkers is kind of like borderline feminist, right?
Okay.
She's very protective of feminism. Like, don't you dare say anything bad about feminism. But she's still able to have a conversation about it, right?
Okay.
And when she found out, because I have that. I have 2 published novels, but they're both self-published, right? And she said to me, she said, "Oh, you're lucky," and I'm like, "What?"
What?
Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky because you got a book published. I'm like, yeah, but I self-published. And she's like, well, you're still lucky. And I'm like, how does luck fit into that? Like, luck has nothing to do with that. I worked my ass off for well over a year getting that book, 3 different revisions before I finally got to the final draft. And then I had to find a cover artist. And then I had to actually go out and do the groundwork and put everything together. I did that completely on my own. Nobody helped me. There was no luck involved. And I couldn't believe the way that she was. I'm like, no, that was hard work. That's not luck. It wasn't just handed to me. Nothing was handed to me.
No, no one helped you. No one is. I mean, it's not like you were lucky to find a publisher. You published this on your own.
Exactly.
I mean, I would understand if you said you were lucky because you found an agent or a publisher, because God knows there are way too many people with too much time on their hands and sending manuscripts. Now it's November, so there's like a lot of people doing NaNoWriMo, but
NaNoWriMo, yeah.
Yeah, NaNoWriting national level, but doing everything on your own, how does luck factor into that? This is crazy, really.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. I think the only luck involved was having certain people read it and like it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I suppose it's lucky to have the talent to write something that people are interested in reading. No,
but even then, you have to build that talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have to build that.
I'm totally a better writer than when I first started.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me too. I remember.
That was like, that was nearly 13 years ago.
I remember when I first started writing fan fiction. It was like, oh my god. Like, I wrote like comedy fan fiction about Naruto characters going on camping with a bus in the Naruto universe. So you can imagine how far I went from there. The thing is, okay, returning to the matter at hand, I want to talk about like another event, if you can call it like that. Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to go there because I don't think I ever heard someone say something that just irked me so much. Like, she's complaining about not getting. No, not her. I mean, here she started thinking about that female actresses should be paid more. I mean, as much as their male co-stars. And then from there, Gwyneth Paltrow started complaining that when she played Pepper Potts in Iron Man, she wasn't paid as much as Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I wonder
why. Are you fucking kidding? It's a movie called Iron Man. Of fucking course. I mean, people go there to see Iron Man, so it's the main character, the main actor, more screen time. Of fucking course, he's going to be paid more than Pepper fucking Potts.
Well, yeah, he
if
put
the movie was called
the
Pepper
legwork
Potts.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Will, can you repeat that?
Well, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. put the legwork in for the Iron Man movies. No, I've got no problem. Say you've got a film, again, where somebody, you got a roughly equal role in the film. It should be paid exactly the same. That's no problem. But how much an actor is paid is not just how much work they put in. It's how big a box office draw they are. You know, how big a risk is it for the studio to put the money in? It's no good giving, say, paying Rihanna $50 million to star in the sequel to Battleship or whatever, because she's just not the biggest star. It just doesn't make economic sense. Now,
and we go back to and we go back to what we were talking about with negotiated contracts that are not the same as standardized work. And what the actor that plays Hawkeye in the Avengers, what's his name? I don't remember.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, he said he said to Jennifer Lawrence, what did he say?
It's not my job to negotiate other people's contracts. And quite frankly, he's right. As someone said, I apologise for talking over somebody else, I can't remember who said it, but someone said, if you're not getting paid what you think you should be for a role, talk to your agent, because one of you is wrong in your valuation of your work.
Yep.
I think I said something similar to that, like, if you're not getting enough money, you need to ask whoever's paying you to give you more money. In the case of actors, you need to work with your agent to get you more cash for your job.
It's wage negotiation.
That's very much it. Now, I remember back when Lindsay Lohan was the hot topic in Hollywood.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Now, it's actually really interesting because I had a buddy that worked on one of her films, and she was getting paid. Oh, she was getting paid like just absurd amounts of money, but she was not taking it seriously. She would go out drinking the night before, and go out and stay out until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then go home with some dude, and then not show up for her 6 a.m. casting call or 6 a.m. Makeup call.
Oh,
right. And then not roll into the set until noon, and she held up the entire production, and that's probably a little bit. Oh, got a guest. It's the feminists. I don't know what you said, but you sounded angry.
No, sorry, I muted it for the listeners. So just never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So, and because of all this, she's holding up the production, and so when it came time to for her next film, they still hired her on, but it was a much reduced price, and she started complaining.
Well, of fucking course, she started complaining.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. But then when you look at this Jennifer Lawrence thing, now she's a professional actress. Okay, I haven't heard any problems with her on set or anything like that.
Yeah,
she's also the second highest paid actress of I think it was 2014, the second highest paid actor in general.
And she's still complaining.
And she even came out and said like, "Oh, it's my own fault for not negotiating, but this is an issue." Now, here's the thing. Now, I think she's trying to talk in the context of the wider Hollywood culture, right? But you also got to look at who's more interested in having, in being an actor,
Yeah.
Who's more desperate to be an actress or an actor or whatever, right? And I'm not saying it's a gendered thing. It's just that in my experience from actors that I've met is they're very, kind of blasé about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, hey, this role seems cool. I'll take this role, and I'll negotiate if they really want me, then they'll give me a really good offer, right?" Whereas a lot of the time, and this is just my experience, so it's anecdotal, right? Okay. A lot of the women who go for roles, they really want this role, and they're willing to take a cut rate just so they can get this role because they know it will boost them into popularity. Right? Whereas a lot of the male roles, well, they're already popular. They can do this sort of thing, right?
Yep. Yeah. Also, I think that also this as much of a first world problem as I can think of, because we're talking about a person that makes millions. We're not talking about thousands. We're not talking about hundreds. We're talking about millions. Saying that she needs to earn more millions, but. Okay, let's go. There's also the fact that maybe in one of her movies that's going to come out soon, she's playing alongside oh my god, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is like Hollywood newest golden boy. basically.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, and in that movie, she's going to earn more than him. So it's also, as we say, it's a matter of negotiation, but it's also a matter of roles. That's probably going to be like a chick flick. So of course the woman is going to earn more than the male actor. So if she wants to earn more, I think she should campaign not for people to just give automatic more money to female actresses to equal. I think she should campaign for more original stories, more different kind of stories, because that solves two problems. More roles for women to speak up, like to be enlightened into, and also it solves the crisis of originality that's affecting Hollywood since time immemorial.
What I suggest...
Say, if women wanted to write more screenplays for more women, then they would, if there were more in the system, more would get made.
Yeah.
You know, and more directors. Hypothetically, Harry Potter. I mean, if J.K. Rowling wanted, she could have said, "I want female directors on this project." I mean, she did put a foot down and demand British actors, which is fair enough because it's set in Britain. You know?
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of a big thing. If you wanted Americans in your fancy thing, you know, go for Percy Jackson.
I'm going to suggest to Jennifer Lawrence that if she really wants to make more than the male performers, that she gets into porn. Because that's
It's true.
it's true. I hate to say it, but like, you know, I know she never will, you know, and that's fine. That's her choice. But like, like let's be realistic here. You know, look at the pay gap on models in general.
You know, there is an exception to that. There is one country on Earth where not only are the male actors paid a lot more than the female porn actors, but actually there is like only 30. I'm not kidding. Something around 30 male porn actors in the whole of the country. Can you guess which country I'm talking about?
It's not Japan, is it?
That's Japan, yeah.
Oh yeah, one of them's a really old dude who's like in his 70s, isn't it?
Yeah, like there's like only 30 male porn actors in Japan. Like no males want to do porn in Japan. How is that? Why is that? I mean, is it because
I think it's because of the culture, because they have like they may be a lot more westernized now, but they still have that basic, like, you know, honor is very important to them. You know what I mean?
I guess.
It's hard to see how, I see it's been a cultural thing. I mean, a lot of Japanese porn that I've seen, the male roles do tend to be average Joes, as it were. Average Jiros, perhaps. If that's not too culturally offensive. But
no, go ahead.
It's like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And also, looking at that just adds an extra layer of realism to Can't Believe, doesn't it? If there's like a couple of major porn stars, most men tend to be general blokes. It's the women who make it all. It's like, oh no, I created a monster with that one, didn't I?
Well, also maybe.
I want to say there's that, and remember the Japanese porn industry is actually more geared toward males. It's not so much geared toward both sexes, so like in the United States. In the United States, you have porn for guys, porn for gals, straight porn, gay porn, depending on your tastes and fetishes and every other kinky stuff you like. Okay.
Yeah, Shemale is making a return lately.
Exactly. Well, in Japan, it's like, okay, you have your vanilla, you have your chocolate, you have your strawberry, but most of the time it's pretty much the same formula.
Yep.
Yeah, also, but someone clarified this to me. I don't really know, but it's like I never had sex with Japanese women. So are those noises they make only in porn, or are like actually a cultural thing? Because I
don't know, man.
Because I honestly, like our friend Genocide Heart said, I don't really find the thought of having sex with someone who sounds like they're being stabbed over and over really that arousing.
they sound like mice being stabbed.
Yeah. That.
And honestly, and the thing is like all the Asian girls I know out here are completely like they're Canadian. They're not Japanese. They're not Chinese. They're Canadian, right? So they go for the Canadian aspect.
Okay.
Right. So, but I'd be willing to think that it was just a like maybe just a thing that's unique to Japanese porn. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So, okay, so we know that most Japanese porn is for men, and so it's a thing only to Japanese porn. We had to conclude that Japanese males found the sound of mice getting stabbed sexually arousing.
I've seen weirder things online.
Oh,
I think
well,
it's just a submissive thing. I think I'm pretty sure it's just a submissive thing. You know, it's another thing where groping porn is a thing in Japan, right?
Groping?
Yes.
Groping porn, yeah, where it's like
Oh, you like on the
guys
train
on the
and
trains,
stuff?
The gropers.
Yeah,
the
okay,
group,
that's
yeah.
it. Well,
you know, and that's weird, but
Yeah, that's weird to me. I mean, personally, I mean, for me, sex is about having. Okay, we're going on a tangent here, but it's also about. It's still about the sexes. To me, porn. I mean, sex. Sorry, sex is about having fun. I mean, it's a fan activity. I can't honestly. So most people are going to call bullshit on this, I bet, but. I can't go to bed with a girl that I don't find, if I want to go to bed with her, it's not enough to be hot. I'm sorry, because I had some lays with very hot girls. They were like a bore in bed. I mean, I like to have fun in bed.
it's always that way. Oh,
sorry,
no, it's that way there too.
What do you mean?
It's like that. It's like that in Italy too. I'm lamenting the fact that it's like that in Italy too.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You mean the moped trope is real?
I guess so.
Can you elaborate, please?
I guess so. Well, I don't want to let my daughter's right next to me. I don't know if she wants to hear this.
Ask her. Hey, you want to hear this?
No, best not. But the moped. I apologise because this is actually a sexist term, joke, or whatever. But this actually is sexist. So take note, feminists.
Okay.
Moped.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Actual sexism. Moped. A derogatory term for a woman that's a fun ride, but you don't want your mates to see you on.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and like in my experience, it was a lot of it. Okay. Well, I used to be a bouncer.
Okay.
Right? So during the period where I was a bouncer, bringing women home was not a huge challenge, right? But
yes.
So near the beginning, I was less picky.
Yeah.
You know, near the end of it, I was way more picky, but near the beginning, I was less picky. But the weird thing I noticed is that the less picky I was, the more fun I had. But the more picky I was in terms of like their attraction level, right? The more how should I put this? The more of wet fish they were.
Yeah,
it's almost as if women have realised, well, I can't compete on being attractive. I have to compete with being good at the sex.
Exactly.
It's like
yeah, exactly.
I can't compete with being attractive with other men, so I have to work on having a personality. Wow.
Imagine that.
Oh,
Imagine that.
crazy talk.
Wow.
Yeah,
that.
I mean the same thing. I guess. I think that men don't do that as much as women. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, most men like. I heard I like to do something with girls. I like to talk. So sorry, that's a sexy joke towards men. No, like I talk with female friends and also girls I've been with, and they say that like there is a lot of men they just don't. Attractive or not, a lot of men just don't know what they're doing in bed, and they don't actually put the strive into learning unless it's for a partner. Yeah, like what the hell are you doing in bed? What the hell are you doing down there? They don't like putting the effort to actually learn to do something, no matter what their other flaws are. I think that's a thing more about that's a thing more concerning man than woman. This lack of effort, unless the woman is really hot, like we said.
Oh yeah, well, I guess that's my earlier point about trying to impress women.
I don't know. For me, I spent years fostering certain skills.
Yeah, same
Right.
here.
I spent years because, like, hey, like it's give and take, right? It's not just like okay, let's get it done. No. It's give and take. You know, I like to take my time. I like to do that kind of thing, right? So it's always been about like fostering certain skills. But the thing is like depending on who your partner is, it's going to be, you know, each person likes different things, right?
Yeah.
What one person likes, another person is not going to like. So you have to kind of like play it by ear until you get to know each other a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where communication comes into play, right? Now here in Canada, and I think North America in general, you know, like there is still a lot of sexual repression here. Like for instance, you know, people would rather have exploding heads on television than show a nipple.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I kind of know that.
And then that's a very telling thing right there. You know, when they prefer violence over sex, it's like wait, what? Right?
Exactly.
That's just weird. So, Minus, did you say that you'd known a few American ladies and they quite liked rough sex, didn't they?
Yeah.
I remember you saying that once. It had been quite weird, which I don't quite get that. Call me old-fashioned if you like, but I'm thinking during sexy time, you're supposed to be doing things to make each other feel good, not hurt each other. I might be, you know, crazy, but hurting a female sexual partner just seemed a bit like misogyny.
Yeah,
but then again, we've discussed.
Some
but the thing is, some ask you to do that. Seriously, true story.
That stops being misogyny. That's just pleasing your partner.
Yeah, but seriously, true story. Because sometimes I bet that some people think. I bet that a lot of I heard people like. Porn and certain acts during sex are degrading or internalized misogyny or whatever. But I actually had women during, like, I still remember the first time a girl asked me to slap her during coitus. I was like, what the fuck? Why do you want me to slap you?
What
the hell is wrong with you?
I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know you're like, wait, what?
What?
Like, what did you just ask me to do? Oh my god! Yeah.
No, because it comes down to that as well. I mean, the thing is, do we? It's not about like what they need to teach you to be a feminist. I mean, I think coming back to what you talked about before, like they want to teach men to be feminists. You don't need to teach people to be feminists. You need to teach people to be decent human beings. I mean, I've never been told to be a feminist, but I've been told by people, by my father, mostly my mother too, to be like a decent human being to everyone unless they give me a reason not to. And automatically, I treated women even better than males. I mean, and they kinda took advantage of that growing up, I have to admit. Women in particular. Girls,
see, I had a very similar problem growing up. See, I was my parents were deaf, right? Mm-hmm. So I was raised mainly by TV. I was raised by sitcoms of the 1990s and, you know, television shows where, you know, they teach you, you know, like, hey, put women up on a pedestal and treat them like treat them with the utmost reverence and all this kind of stuff, and treat them like they're better than human, right?
Yeah. Same here.
These infallible, perfect, angelic creatures that can never do any wrong. And that was the worst possible thing you could do, because you don't get any respect when you do that. You're treated like a doormat. And it wasn't until my mid-20s when I actually learned, like, hey, it's a hell of a lot better if I just treat them like they're completely, you know, on the same level as me. They're my peers, you know? And something changed, and all of a sudden it's just like, hey, wow, okay, this is a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, but
you know, I'm getting respect. I'm getting respect, and I'm not having to like demand respect. It's just being given to me because I respect them, and I, you know, understand that they're, you know, as fallible as I am. So I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah, I mean that's a rule. Yeah, there needs to be more people need to realize that, because it seems like, particularly these outrage and hunters we talked about, seems that there is no middle ground. Either you treat women as these infallible beings, or you treat them and you hate them like crap. That seems to be their mindset, right?
There's no, it's completely black and white. There is no shade of gray, right?
Yeah, no shade of gray. Eagle,
No one shade of gray.
Sprays, don't make me think of that. I'm seriously. Oh.
If anything,
Yeah,
I
Eagle.
kind of want to ring in on this. It's a little bit going back to it's not just respecting the other person; it's also respecting yourself. It's just showing that hey, you can we can have fun, we can do this, we can do that, but here's my stopping point.
Yeah.
So this is the line I won't cross.
These are my boundaries. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but now you had to put them in writing, I guess.
Mm.
Put it in
There's
writing.
boundaries on both sides. though.
Eagle, you're closer to California. Didn't you hear about the love contract?
Oh God.
Oh, the affirmative consent law thing that they want to put on.
Yeah, that's how that. Like,
It's like
they
you have to
basically
ask them every 10 minutes whether they still want to go. keep
yeah,
going.
something
I'm
like
pretty
that.
sure they'd say no after the second time. They'd be like, "All right, no, I'm done." You're killing the
Well,
mood, man.
Yeah,
for many
basically
people,
they-
it's a case they only need to ask them once.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is, they basically turned a Dave Chappelle sketch into real life. Have you ever seen the love contract sketch from Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, basically
It was
the
funny
law.
then. It's not funny now.
Yeah, but the thing is, that the law they made is kind of like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I say it was funny then, but it's not funny now.
Yeah. This is like I'm supposed to be Italian like that. I'm supposed to conform to the stereotype of the Casanova if I had to carry a contract and a pen with me to the bedroom.
Well, that probably gets some people off. But yeah,
You know what?
hey, there's a joke in there about flicking through somebody's briefs.
Hey.
You know what? You know what it needs more than contracts? Common
Yeah?
sense.
Yeah. Common sense.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, more than feminism, I would make a class about common sense in schools. I think that would be a lot more effective. Like, okay,
Let's start a petition. Let's get our individual countries doing it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let's establish common sense classes in schools, in public schools.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Somebody write that down.
Okay.
So
okay.
what, Al Murray does a lot of that in his stand-up skill. So one of the problems with that are, unfortunately, is there are no male role models, or there are very few these days. One of the problems is, who if a bloke approaches a child, he's assumed to be a pedo, which is just like, no, I'm just trying to be helpful. You just assume he's going to abduct the child and take it off to the sex dungeon. Or
Something like that actually happened in your neck of the woods not too long ago, Gwill. There was a guy he was a bird watcher, and he was like a single man, but he went to this family event that was all about bird watching just to go because he wanted to see it and all that kind of stuff. And they kicked him out because he was a single man at a family event, and they accused him of being a pedophile.
Whoa.
I'll see if I can find the link, but like it was, I was just completely taken aback by this. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow. Okay, remind me never to interact. Yeah, go Will.
They never interact with children. Yeah, because a lot of guys actually want to be helpful and mentor people, but if the moment you like say hello or anything like that, you're assumed to be a sex criminal. Well, that's just no good. I mean, people will just back away because it's just not worth it. We don't mind playing a game we're unlikely to win, but you can't win.
Yeah, all this distrust. I mean, for something, you can recognize it. I don't think that just talking to women or to children is the sign of a sexual assaulter. I mean, That's kind of taking it too far. I mean, there are people that are naturally good with children, no? So what are those people supposed to do? I don't know. Can you imagine that?
Well, I say, I'm not awful with children, and neither is my older brother. You notice how I worded that not awful, not good with. Yeah, because, again,
Yeah.
you can laugh at being called a terrorist, but you can't laugh at being called a paedophile. It's like, you get tired with that brush, that shit's going to stick forever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but also because there is there is the fact that most people, when they think pedophile, automatically think sexual assault and sexual abuser. Like, if they call you a pedophile, even if you are, they automatically think that you already did some horrible things to children. That's not always the case, though, right?
well, careful.
Now we're kind of getting into like a rough semantics kind of area.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Again, I'm sure you saw the harmful opinions videos on this on such things. It's like, well, okay, I get that some people, non-offenders, are trying to seek help, and they should be able to seek help. Suitably anonymous help without them being hoisted in front of the media.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
But we've got to make sure that we're not defending them like the Salon articles.
Yeah, exactly. No, what sounded was really disgusting. I mean, they were defending. They were not. Okay, so I remember I was reading it like, we should not penalize those that seek help. Okay. Then I go reading that they were basically defending someone who actually did something. What the fuck? You had to go to trial, you bastard.
Yeah, and it's like, oh god, he was perfectly fine and he was not harming anybody. Then he got arrested by the FBI in a sting operation.
Uh-oh. Whoops.
It's like,
about 15 years ago here, this is actually a Canadian thing. There was a brief period of time where the status of child pornography being illegal was up in the air. Because a pedophile had challenged the our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms to free expression, right? And for a second there, he actually made a convincing enough argument to the judge that the judge was like, well, maybe we need to reconsider this. Less than 2 weeks later, it was like, no, are you fucking crazy? Like, no.
Like, wait a minute.
No,
let me use
you're
reason.
victimizing children.
Go Eagle.
The judge was like, wait a minute, you're confusing me. Let me step back for a moment. Common sense, reason. No.
Yeah. And that was it. And his whole argument is just like, well, if child pornography exists, it's going to prevent actual pedophiles from going out and acting these things. And I'm like, well, the problem there is that it has
to make child pornography,
that shit, you fucking morons.
Yeah. Also, there is the fact that to make child pornography, you need to,
Yeah.
There is the matter of production values.
I never understood the appeal of child pornography. I mean, the acting in pornography is pretty bad, and children are terrible actors as well. So,
Oh, come on. That's so bad. That is such bad.
That's Ricky Gervais' level of humor. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, there was John Grisham last year.
Yeah.
I remember hearing how he not quite defending child pornography, but saying people who had seen it, perhaps it's not as what harm has it done to them? And there was something, and then he retracted, saying no, it was a mistake. Terribly sorry. Won't say that again. And we've not heard from John Grisham for about a year.
Probably because enough parents got involved.
Yeah.
And then there was a thing where someone had said, well, actually, this woman had said, I was abused as a child, and they took pictures of it, and the thought that knowing that somebody looks at it makes me feel violated again. So, it is not a victimless crime. It is fucking disgusting. It's like the worst thing you can do to someone.
Yeah, you can. That's actually a thing you can get post-traumatic stress disorder from. You can get it from Twitter, but you can absolutely get it from that kind of abuse.
Well, I don't know about like your guys' next to the world, right? But in Canada, it's there's a specific term called sexual interference, right? And that's very much what it is, because you're interfering with the natural progression of a person's sexuality by messing with them when they're too young.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you have that thing. And it's like it's the same thing as I see these 25-year-old female teachers messing with 11-year-old boys. That's the same thing, and it disgusts me that all they get is a slap on the wrist some of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Sometimes they get nailed to the wall, and that's great. But like sometimes it's a slap on the wrist, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and that returns us to the quality between sexes.
Yeah.
On some things, men get the shaft more than women.
Oh, usually in the family courts. Well, in courts in general, in fact.
Yeah, but also in school and in cases like this, because I read an article that basically most kids, boys, most teachers use female students as the pedestal where to judge also boys, but boys are different from girls, so they can be judged like they were girls, but they do, and they get hurt in their education process for it.
Yeah, as Milo Yiannopoulos said in one of his articles, and you may not like Milo, I get the feeling I probably wouldn't like him if I met him in real life, but he's entertaining enough from a distance on the internet, and he raises some points, and he does like to do a lot of shit posting. We all like to do the shit posting
a lot
because it makes us laugh, and and his comment had a comment. We have to stop treating boys like women,
like girls,
like defective girls, because they're not that. They need boys need different things to girls,
and girls need different things to boys.
Yeah, right? That's kind of it. No one, both sexes, the sexes are not equal, but they should have equal rights and opportunities. Yeah. On that, we can all agree.
Well, the reality is like in terms of men, we have the highest suicide rate, we have the highest murder rate. I don't know about in any other country, but I do know in the United States they have the highest rape rate. They are raped more often than women.
Yeah, mostly in prison, I guess.
Because of prisons, Sorry.
US because they happen to be in prison. So that makes twisted sense.
They are more highly medicated at a younger age. Okay, they are doing poorly. They're the lowest population of college students. They are they have zero funding. This is actually one of the things that really gets my goat. They have zero funding for domestic abuse situations.
Yeah,
right.
That's sickening.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And I went through that stuff myself back in the day. And when I went to go try to get help, they straight up told me that I was the one who was at fault
for getting abused.
Are you kidding me? Like you wouldn't tell this to a woman who came up here and said this to you. No, you'd be giving her like, oh, here's a place that you could stay for free. Here's you could do this, you could do that. And it's just brutal. It's just brutal.
Yeah. So okay, well, I really want to talk about this in another episode. Right now we're running out of time because I have to close up. But I really want to talk about this because I think we can all come to a conclusion here that both sexes have their own share of problems. Like males have their own problems, and women have their own problems, and these people that spit on men especially, because let's be honest, it's most often the amount of men that are spit on, acting like they're the patriarchy, that they have no problems, they have all the powers, and women are always oppressed, even when they have more rights in certain aspects than men. It's not helping anyone. Okay, I want your closing thoughts about this. You can go first, Eagle.
the thing is, you've pretty much said what I was thinking. One thing I do want to bring back is more common sense. More remembering that, yeah, we're different. We're built different, physically, mentally, emotionally. We share a lot of the same traits. If we didn't, we would stop being part of the same biological race.
Mm-hmm.
But
That makes sense, yeah. Will?
but it's more, I want to say, instead of more
Okay.
feminism, how about equalism?
Mm-hmm.
Will?
Well, there was recent studies that showed the most disadvantaged group in the UK were actually white males from poor backgrounds, people who qualify for free school meals because of the low income of their parents. So please explain to me how the fact that some of the people who I knew as school would have now been classed as the least privileged in society. Please explain to me how we have all the power now. I don't get it. But hey, what do I know about anything? I'm just a shitlord on the internet.
EJ?
I just want to say that it is literally impossible to have a movement that is supposed to be based on equality while ignoring the needs of an entire gender.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was EJ from Canada. We also had Will from UK, Eagle from Mexico and Will from the UK. I'm your host, Menoscan from Italy. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the next Italian pod. Bye!
Bye.
Hasta luego.
Jog on.